Hello and welcome to the 2022 Lone Star Conference Media Day. I'm Ed Nunez for the Lone Star Conference. With us today are Western New Mexico men's basketball coach Zane Gibson, also seniors Ola Pedersen and Amarion Cash. Coach, we're going to go with you first. First of all, welcome to the Lone Star Conference Media Day. Coach, we want to what the outlook is for the Mustangs this year. You brought in 7 Division I transfers, and you've got a lot of work. You mentioned meshing and chemistry. What's the thing that has impressed you so far, and it's early, about your team? Your first game is November 2nd, the exhibition. What's impressed you so far?
Yeah, I'm excited about how the guys are working, coming in, day out, and the extra work. After practice is over or workout or weights, and you kind of walk around the gym and you can hear the balls bouncing. And so I think the guys are excited about this year. I think they're putting in the work. And I don't think there's any replacement for that. When you put in the work, good things happen. It's something we've preached to these two guys and to the new guys in our program, that at the end of the day, the guys who work and put in the time, good things happen to them. And so I'm excited about what they've done so far. As we've talked about in the past, we still got to continue to mesh. I think these guys would agree with that. We got to keep getting better and get on the same page. But so far, I really like how we've started.
Coach, we also want to ask you, of course, what about in the community, Mustangs in the community? Scott Noble, the athletic director here, an outstanding athletic director. It's an outstanding person. Gets so much every time I talk to him about something. Talk about Mustangs in the community and in the classroom. What are your expectations? It goes beyond the court, of course.
Yeah, no, 100%. One thing that obviously Coach Noble, he sets the standard for us in the athletic department as coaches, and it's our job to then set the standard to our young men. And one of those is obviously in the classroom. Fortunately for us, since I've been here 5 semesters. I got here in the spring of 2020. And since that time, of the 6 semesters I've been here, 5 of them we've been over a 3.0. And both of these guys have been a part of that over that time period. And then, we love getting involved. Been over to Harvest Church for the Mustang Day, getting involved with homecoming and the parade. We tried to even decorate the truck a little bit better today, throwing out candy, getting little kids to shoot on the side. We're going to participate in the Trick or Trunk coming up here in the IM gym. It's important because I believe if you support your community, they'll support you as well. And so these guys do a fantastic job in the classroom, and we try to do as best we can in the community.
Thank you very much, Coach. Amarion Cash, senior from Phoenix. You're senior here, and this is your last season. What kind of excitement do you have? And for this year, it started out 5-0 last year, and you kind of struggled there at the end. Coach Gibson mentioned 1-possession games at the end of games last year. It feels like you need to make an improvement there. What's your expectations for your last year here as a senior at Western New Mexico?
My expectations are to make the conference tournament, but we just got to put in the work. Really, that's just all it takes at the end of the day. But I'm excited for this year, and I feel like my teammates are too.
Talk about, and Coach Gibson and I talk about this all the time, playing in the Lone Star Conference. It's a beast of a conference. It really is. Talk a little bit about that because, Coach Gibson and I talk about it. You see it here every night on the road. Talk about a little bit about playing in the Lone Star Conference.
So there's a lot of competition everywhere, and I feel like some of the best teams in here could beat D1 teams most definitely. And I feel like, you really just have to be dedicated to it to honestly to get what you want to get out of it. So that's what anything in life though.
Thanks, Amar. If you could pass that microphone to Ola Pedersen, a senior from Denmark. And Ola, you're returning as well from last year's team. I always ask you about how practices are going. And you've mentioned to me, you showed me a couple of marks on your arm that, hey, people are getting after it, right? You're a shot blocker. You're an enforcer in there. You're going to get your rebounds and make sure that people aren't going to come in the lane and just get layups on you. Talk about what you feel the improvement is that you see so far with 7 Division I transfers coming in. What do you see as the improvement from last year so far? It's early in the season.
I mean, when I see the improvement, it's like how everybody want to work, especially on offense and defense. Like we are trying every day, working our best, like fighting, scrapping. Like you said, like got scars on my arms. Like we always battling every day, and I love that. And with that, like great things gonna come. So when it comes to defense, I think we're gonna be very good.
You mentioned defense, and what are the transfers so far? Have they upped the competition in practice? I'm guessing that they have. Talk a little bit about that.
Oh, most definitely, because a lot of those guys are D1 transfers, so they know what it takes, and they know, like, they come from, like, bigger places, like, tougher environments, so they bring in all that here, and we are, of course, we bring in our own, too. We showing, like, what Mustang basketball really is, and, like, how we fight every day, and they're buying into it. So that's good.
Thank you, Ola. Finally, Coach, one last question for you, and we'll wrap it up. November 2nd, the exhibition against New Mexico State in the Pan American Center, and then it begins. And it seems like it's so quick, right? You know, you and I talk about it. I've talked to you a lot, and I'm a basketball guy, so we get excited about talking about intricacies of basketball, right? You've got to be excited, Coach. There's a lot of work you mentioned, right? November 2nd around the corner, or just around the corner. What is it the Mustangs have to do to get to that conference tournament?
Yeah, it's just daily consistency. New Mexico State is obviously an NCAA tournament team. They beat UConn last year, and I know they have a new staff, but they just kind of reloaded their team. It'll be a great test. You know, right now everybody's kind of behind closed doors, working on things here and there, and that's kind of our first test out in the open, where we'll see where we're at and what we need to do to improve. But what I told these guys is last year, while we were frustrated because we did beat 3 NCAA tournament teams, and we showed up for those games. In the games we didn't, we struggled. We have to be the most consistent, hardest working, competitive team in the league. And if we do that, I have no doubt where we'll end at the end of the year.
Coach Gibson, we want to thank you. Ola Pedersen, Amarion Cash, Coach Zane Gibson, thanks so much for being with us today. We appreciate it. This has been your Lone Star Conference Media Day with Western New Mexico head coach Zane Gibson, Ola Pedersen, and Amarion Cash.